Good evening, fans, and welcome to the Isuzu UTE A-League Saturday night football coming from Campbelltown Stadium on the land of the Dharawal people. It's Macarthur FC taking on Melbourne City, and third place on the league ladder is up for grabs. Both sides looking to bounce back from losses in the last round. For Melbourne City, it came 3-0 after 7 matches without defeat. A 3-0 loss away to Auckland. They came back licking their wounds and are now looking to bounce back and climb back up the table. While for Macarthur FC, the Bulls, they suffered a 5th home match on Monday night without a win, this time going down 2-1 to Wellington Phoenix. Quite a remarkable turnaround from that 6-1 victory on the opening day of the season here, the biggest ever in club history. Well, the head-to-head record between these two sides tells us that of the 9 previous meetings, 5 wins for Melbourne City, just the 1 for Macarthur. But it did come here last season by 2-0, and it was Bernardo who got both of them in one of his first matches for the Bulls. He'd actually scored 2 for Adelaide against Melbourne City earlier last season as well. Let's have a look at the starting lineups then. We're looking for that first win here since the opening day of the season. Mile Sturjovski's made 4 changes from Monday night's loss to Wellington. Oliver Jones, the central defender, is by all accounts on a plane to Europe, finalising an overseas transfer. So Tommy Uskok makes his first appearance of 2025. Elsewhere, Walter Scott, Australia under-20 midfielder Franz Deli, and former Melbourne City winger Marin Jakulic all come in for Ivan Vujica, the injured Liam Rose, and Bernardo Oliveira. For the away side, Melbourne City, Aurelio Vidmar's made 3 changes from the side that lost for the first time in 8 away to Auckland. No change in goal or in defence. Lawrence Wong, Kabian Rahmani and Aryan Suleimani all come in the attacking positions for Harry Politidis, Jane Schreiber and Medin Mehmeti. Still a long injury list, but Matt Leckie played 15 minutes off the bench last time, and Marco Tilio is on the bench this evening for the first time as well. Well, it is a perfect evening for football in Campbelltown. There is Mile Sturjovski, the coach of Macarthur FC, whose side are just lacking consistency at the moment to really put together a strong title challenge. The side that lifted the Australia Cup for the 2nd time in their short history at the start of the campaign. They are taking on Aurelio Vidmar's Melbourne City. Aurelio Vidmar, who has no wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat against Macarthur. Of course, during his first spell in charge of Adelaide in the A-League, there was no Macarthur FC for him to take on, so he's still looking for that first win against the Bulls. Alex King takes charge of this fixture for the 3rd time. He's being assisted by Andrew Lindsay and Lance Greenshields. Sam Kelly is the 4th official. In the VAR room, Adam Kersey and Daniel Elder. Well, there is the Campbelltown evening, the home of the Bulls. It hasn't been a happy hunting ground for them so far this season. Melbourne City, just the 1 win here for them as well. They have dominated this fixture at home in Amy Park. They have only, apart from Western United, was an away win at Amy Park. Otherwise, their 3 away wins this season have come against Perth, Brisbane and Newcastle. So I'm sure they would like to get a big scalp on the road. There is Tommy Uskok, the 33-year-old central defender. It's been a big season for him. He scored 2 goals, but hasn't played since being sent off just before Christmas against the Central Coast Mariners. This evening, he becomes the 3rd Bull to play 100 times for the club after Philip Curto and Jake Holman. And with Medin Mehmeti heading off soon to the Asian Cup for the under-20s with the Australia team, it's Aryan Suleimani who's looking for his first ever A-League goal. It's his 8th appearance, the 2022 NPL 3 Golden Boot winner. He's come back from an ACL and is now looking for his first A-League goal. It is Macarthur that get us underway, looking to break this home ground hoodoo that they have suffered so far this season. In the final days of our epic summer of football, the 3 points were never as important as they are this evening for these two sides. Third place on the ladder, on the line, and perhaps Andy Harper. A win for the away side, Melbourne City, and they'll move to within a point of the leaders, Adelaide.
Hey, good evening, Robbie. Away teams have had too much joy here at Macarthur so far this season, although in Macarthur's defence, they're not the only team in the league that's had trouble at home. And as we do approach the conclusion of the summer part, celebrated as the summer of football, still a very congested competition, very unpredictable, so many ingredients working positively to make the A-League as compelling as ever. Macarthur want to become a compelling home team, and that's got to start against Melbourne City here tonight. Beautiful night here in the southwest of Sydney. Just perfect conditions for football, playing and watching.
As is Badge taking a little while to get that throw away. Jake Holman, who got his second goal of the season on Monday night, opening the scoring against Wellington. They really should have had more. Macarthur, Mile Sturjovski, as we heard from Andy Harper in the pre-game show, still scratching his head as to how his side failed to pick up 3 points against the Phoenix. It's been a recurrent theme for them. They've opened the scoring this season 10 times. Only Melbourne City have done as many. Unfortunately, while Melbourne City have won 7 and drawn 3, undefeated, well, the Bulls have only won 5 of those 10 when they've opened the scoring and have lost 4 of them. That is the #1 explanation as to why they find themselves down in 6th place, just behind Melbourne Victory. And oh, and this is a massive blow. Just 2 minutes in, Kai Truan punches the ground in frustration, but he just looked to the bench saying, it's finished, I can't play on. So who is the option at the back? Probably Germain Ferreira. There we see him stripping down and getting ready to come on. I guess he's still warm if he's done his warm-up properly. But I'm not sure if Kai Truan brought something in to the match that he was carrying, and it's gone straight away. But that is a big blow in the opening seconds of a contest.
Well, Kai Truan here. Looks like it's going to be the only contribution to this game for him. And just as Melbourne City might have thought that they were re-emerging from the injury cave, if I can put it that way, this looks like Kai Truan is sending the discussion straight back from whence it came. And this is a huge loss. He's a fabulous player. Kai Truan has made a really positive move and start to Melbourne City after his move from Brisbane. And Suprayan, a very, very good central partnership, which is about to be disrupted. Hopefully for City's sake, not for too long, but he doesn't look comfortable at all.
Well, there is the league ladder. You can see it there. That's what I was talking about. Macarthur, with the point from this evening's contest, have already climbed up 1 place without barely kicking a ball. As there we see the substitution then. I wonder if it's groin or quad or just passing the ball like that. Kai Truan, that's also one of the substitution windows gone as well, so it may yet have further ramifications, but certainly not an ideal start for the away side, who, for all their injury problems, their defence and goalkeeper has more or less got away unscathed in that department. It's been their attacking armada which has really struggled with injury so far, so more cause for concern for Aurelio Vidmar. Here is Patrick Beach, who is growing into his role as first choice keeper ahead of Jamie Young. He's actually moved top of the saves percentages in the league over the last couple of weeks, Patrick Beach. Nice touch from Suprayan. Gets it wide on the right-hand side with Mazzeo. He's been in outstanding form recently. Cuts inside, looking for Talbot. Yakulish with Scott. He can't find Jake Holman. high on that left-hand side. Holman, who has been playing in midfield a little bit deeper recently, alongside Bratton and Rose, is up alongside Valère Germain, at least without the ball in the press. Jakalic on the left, Drew on the right. There's goals and assists from those wide positions. Luke Bratton does well. Uzcok just about gets away with one. Jake Holman made his 100th appearance on Monday night for the Bulls in all competitions. Philip Curto this evening is on 106, and Tommy Uzcok joins the Bulls Centurions. Mazeo's cross is a good one, just too high. Hit the back post for Rahmani. Germain apologises for the double call. Rahmani, that's nicely done again. Was he caught? He was, by Franz Deli.
Good footwork to win the free kick. Shifting past two, and the third in Delhi. Decided that progress is to be halted here.
Franz Deli, one of 4 Macarthur Bulls, called up to the Young Socceroos for the Under-20 Asian Cup, along with Ollie Randazzo, Alex Robertson, the reserve goalkeeper, and Dean Bosniak, the striker, who's not in the matchday squad this evening. Ball in from Wong, and the referee has spotted a very early free kick there, I think against Rahmani, on Tommy Uzcok perhaps. Lawrence Wong, who's already shown some nice touches in his very short A-League career so far, just his 3rd appearance with Melbourne City this evening. Still no Cohen, or Kuhn, Jego, Nabu, of course, Lecky and Tilio on the bench. Alessandro Lopane still missing as that bobbling ball back to Beach is dealt with. Adamson, well defended by Rahmani, only as far as Luke Bratton. Delhi with Uzcok, and all the way back to Philip Curto. Again, not quite on the same wavelength. Germain and Jed Drew there for the 2nd time this evening.
Well, that worked reasonably well in the first half against Wellington. Luke Bratton, on a couple of occasions, similar sort of action to that, released Jed Drew in the first half and just tore Wellington to pieces down their left side. But not quite in sync was Drew with Valère Germain then.
Atkinson continuing this not really new role anymore for him in the centre of midfield. His role on his return to Melbourne City has essentially been in midfield to fill the gaps alongside Steven Ugarkovic. Got his first goal recently as well against the Wellington Phoenix. Matt Yerman enjoying a little spell in the first 11 at the moment as Adamson gives it away. Suprayon stepping forward against his compatriot Valère Germain. Now Beich looks up, crosses back post. We know Mazeo has a prodigious leap on him, but he wasn't going to reach that. Atkinson back in again and behind, out for a goal kick. Let's head down to Neve Owens, who's on the sidelines for us this evening. Nevo, how is it down there?
Look, I can hear some cowbells in behind me, Robbie. So clearly Harps didn't bring them all back up to the commentary box with him this afternoon. Maybe a bit of a disappointing crowd. Hopefully it builds throughout the evening. It is their second game here at home in the space of a week for Macarthur Bulls, but it is perfect conditions for a game of football. 22 degrees, hardly any breeze at all, Robbie, and the pitch looks in really good nick. Unfortunately, Kai Truen looks in less good nick. Left the field, as we saw so early on in this contest, and seemed to know himself immediately that something had gone wrong. You can see him sitting on the bench there, and it looks to have an ice pack on his groin. So unfortunately, Kai Truen's night over a lot earlier than he'd planned.
Thank you, Neve. Yeah, he does have his hand on what looks like a packet of ice on that right groin, or high up on the quad at any rate. He could tell immediately, as soon as he made the pass, that something had gone, and that is devastating for a footballer when you feel your body go.
And devastating for the football club too in general. I mean, impact injuries, accidents, you have to wear those. But in modern professional sport, I guess the aim, the expectation is that really they're a minimum, the number of soft tissue injuries, and Melbourne City have been sifting through quite a few of them.
And not always, as we heard from Michael Petrillo a couple of weeks back, dealing with the rehab ideally either. As here's Beige down the left-hand side. He was looking for Lawrence Wong in the penalty box. It was well cleared by Franz Deli, the Baghdad-born young midfielder, a local boy from Sydney's West. Outstanding young prospect as well, brought up to the first team with the aim of playing first team football this season. They haven't had injury problems, so he has earned his spot in this side. A 7th appearance for him. Wong into the feet of Atkinson. Now Rahmani won't get there. Just shepherded out by Walter Scott. Rahmani, another one of these youngsters to have been called upon, given the opportunity by Aurelio Vidmar, and one that he's certainly made the most of it. Provided an assist on debut as well. This is his 10th appearance for the Australian under-19 international, who came through the Melbourne City Academy. Like so many, even a couple in the opposition ranks. The reserve goalkeeper, Alex Robinson, who's in that Australia under-20 squad for the Asian Cup, is another former Melbourne City youngster. Suprayon into the feet of Wong. Again, a little touch off for Ugarkovic. Not for the first time. It's well played. Rahmani on the left, and well defended by Adamson, who stepped out to close down the space and just forced Ugarkovic to rush. Kurto under pressure, back with Germain. He looks long as Jakalic came short. City have it straight back again, and already City dominating possession. Ugarkovic long towards Mazeo. Jakalic hooks it over his shoulder. City have it back again. Ferreira, great switch of play for Rahmani. Unintentional touch just opens the door for Adamson. It's going to be the Bulls' throw. Aurelio Vidmar asking where perhaps that throw should have been taken from. He feels about 10 or 15 metres deeper. Holman. Bratton. Kai Truen was the only outfield player for Melbourne City to have played every minute of the season before going off. Nice little touch from Delhi. Walter Scott can't take it with him though.
That's the first real sequence, 15 minutes. First real passing sequence that's had any promise of any menace from Macarthur till now. Really, it's been Melbourne City who've in determining how and where this game is played. So some green shoots for Macarthur. Evidently still stung from Monday's loss. They'll shake clear of that as quickly as possible, or they'll be facing another loss here at home.
They're also dealing with 3 players that have left the club this week, although defender Ollie Jones not yet confirmed officially, the 21-year-old who came through the Northbridge Bulls, the local feeder club for Macarthur, who we believe is on a plane heading for Europe at the moment to complete an overseas transfer. Means that there's a decidedly older looking defence between Germain and Uzcock. Perhaps we should say experienced defence rather than older. But certainly Oliver Jones was making quite the impact this season when he came in.
And also Arnagic has had his contract terminated.
He is not an A-League footballer.
He is not an A-League footballer, so it does leave personnel-wise quite a hole. But it just goes to show the balance in the entirety of the Macarthur squad. You know, they've got a lot of bases covered. Well, you couldn't say the same if some of the other teams in the league lost a couple of centre-halves. They'd be in all sorts of trouble.
Well, we've also seen Melbourne City, as we've already spoken about, deal with a massive injury list. At one stage they had 10 outfield players missing. But a look at the bench at the moment. They have a couple of fullbacks on the bench in Ivan Vujica and Yanni Nicolau. But in losing 2 central defenders in the last week, in Dino Aslanagic and Oliver Jones, they are now a little bit thin in that department as well. Delhi with Holman. Now Jed Drew. His first opportunity to stretch his legs down the right-hand side, very quickly closed down.
He quickly closed down, but he wasn't helped by the pass from Jake Holman. It was savagely under-hit, which killed the momentum for Jed Drew. And the possibility in the first instance for Macarthur, they've regathered now. And
great touch and persistence from Adamson. He was looking for Drew just inside and couldn't find him. Harrioth Kjol also leaving the club, the scorer of a couple of fantastic goals this season. But only 400-odd A-League minutes under his belt, going for over $1 million Australian dollars reportedly to Real Salt Lake in the MLS. There were plenty of other suitors for him as well, by all accounts. France and Switzerland also a possible destination before choosing the deal offered by the MLS side, where he joins up with Lockie Brook, incidentally another A-League alumni. Aaron Yakalish, Melbourne City alumni. Got just 2 goals last season for Melbourne City. He has 4 already, but none since November. Aaron Yakalish delivers back post. Germain was there. Cleared long by Ferreira, the Argentine defender. Now Delhi with Holman again. Block. Delhi takes over. Bundled over by Ferreira. Now you can't play the ball while you're on the ground, so he had to try and get out of the way.
Well, he ran into a rather imposing figure of substitute Ferreira. Hasn't had a lot of game time for Melbourne City, but the bits of him that we have seen, you don't get anything for nothing from him.
No, Alex King is pulling it back for a free kick. Just explaining, that was a very long advantage if it was. It looked like a foul from Uscott.
Well, the bells have been silenced, so that just must mean total confusion. Anyway, the football is back underway. I couldn't interpret it even as well as you did, Robbie. I had no idea what was happening then.
I think you and Marin Jakalic. Here is Suprayon. Well, they've had 2/3 of the possession so far, Melbourne City. They're dominating the rhythm as Mazzeo gets the better of Scott. Early cross as well towards Suleimani, still looking for that first professional goal.
Which is excellent work from Ben Mazzeo. Lovely first control, then the ingenuity, and then the lightning speed off the mark. He's quite the package, Ben Mazzeo. Is making excellent strides as a senior footballer.
Now look out, the kids. Here goes Drew with the pace to beat Suprayon. Ferreira was coming across in cover, and so was Patrick Beach. Now that looked like a hand from Lawrence Wong.
Yeah, that was instructive, Robbie, as you called it. Suprayon had no chance against Jed Drew, but I tell you who was making an impression, Ferreira, on the other centre-back's position. The message to Jed Drew is just anticipate your teammates are going to hit the ball over the top of Aziz Bajic and within range of Suprayon, and you just go.
That's certainly been a combination that's worked so far this season. Jed Drew, 6 goals and 6 assists so far this season. Certainly been catching the eye. What also might be catching the eye is the fact that he's out of contract at the end of this season. Here's Holman. Ball in behind for Jakalic. Drew arriving at the back post. Germain as well. Holman wants the cut back. Jakalic still Marin Jakalic. Well, he had options in the middle. It never arrived, and the three look at him and look to the bench with arms raised. Here is again Jakalic, trying to get the better of Bulgakovic. Atkinson back, and Talbot decides anywhere will do.
That was an excellent move. Luke Bratton, that beautiful across-the-shoulder pass, if you can refer to it like that. Jake Holman, very sure technique to bring the ball down centre field. 2 wonderful options. Here we go again. There's that Bratton over-the-shoulder pass. 2 very good options for Jake Holman. Jakalic down the left and Jed Drew down the right.
There's Holman looking to put the pressure on, looking to roll Bulgakovic. He wanted a corner.
There it is. Beautiful. It's a great replay too, picked up by the guys in the truck. Holman does brilliantly. It's all on here. Jakalic does well. I think stumbles in the end, and you've got to back his willingness. He just mishits as he goes to strike. And credit to Melbourne City, who regained, through Callum Talbot, that extra defender to put the pressure on the Macarthur attacker. Great opportunity for the home team there.
And they've had the only 2 shots of the game so far. Jakalic inviting Scott forward, cut back for Holman. Can't get it out from under his feet quickly enough. Here's Bratton. With Jakalic again, Germain. Drew in the middle. Cross comes in this time. Beach, not under too much pressure, went for the big punch and finds Rahmani. Dragged to the ground by Adamson.
Well, if there was a chance as Macarthur broke for Walter Scott to hit that first time, the first time he received the ball, Jed Drew was on. The switch in front of goal. Walter Scott, as it was to unfold, did finally get the ball in. Beach decides to punch. He might more comfortably have caught that. But Melbourne City have ridden the storm and now look to settle.
There's Patrick Beach. Does have 6 clean sheets to his name. second only to Alex Paulson. Yakulish's ball, he was looking for Germain. Couldn't find him. Auckland, who are in action tomorrow, away to the Western Sydney Wanderers, 5 p.m. Sydney time. At the Big Blue last night, Melbourne victory, 2-0 winners over Sydney FC. Earlier today, Wellington Phoenix and the Central Coast Mariners, the two sides looking to bridge the gap to that top 8, if you like. Played out a scoreless draw in Christchurch, and the Jets and Perth Glory 2-2 in the end, in a real twists and turns match of football in which Newcastle led twice. Talbot just run out of room. Germain for Yakulish, little touch for Holman. Forced back with the bouncing ball. Here's Bratton, the conductor of this Macarthur side. Back with Philip Curto. He looks long. Delhi with Adamson. Jed Drew looking for the first time ball. Germain gets it back. Now he might look to release Jed Drew. It's a nicely weighted pass. Bajic is there though, and Jed Drew just turns straight in to the Socceroo left back. Beach with the around the shoulder pass of his own, just straight out of play on that time. Germain with Uzkok. Adamson. And Drew running away as Rahmani just got a foot on that. Atkinson now. Good pressing coming from both sides, but a few too many mistakes as well. Just not allowing either team to translate any good passages of play into clear-cut chances at the moment. Macarthur have had the better of those, but City have still had more of the ball. Germain again can't bring the ball under control, and he's caught Jake Holman. Here's Talbot. Ugarkovic with Suprayon. The run inside from Talbot, making room for Mazzeo. Walter Scott watchful. And in front of a little travelling contingent of Melbourne City supporters there. They've pegged their colours to the wall behind them as well. There are a couple of other Melbourne City jerseys around. Oh, that's been given away rather cheaply. Drew. Germain making the run in behind. Drew goes again for the return ball. He might yet get there, Jed Drew. He didn't know really what to do with it. And in the end, defenders got a touch and Patrick Beach has kept it in play. But again, the turnover in the middle of the park and the pace of Macarthur FC. The Bulls on the counter-attack in transition. It is dangerous.
Well, the game has evened out. In the last 15 minutes, it was all City for the first 15, and Macarthur have found themselves. The big change has been getting in behind the defence for Jed Drew. It's 2 or 3 occasions now, and it's not the only route forward for them, but it's certainly been the most dynamic. I just thought when Jed picked up that ball then, he lost the psychological battle with Suprayon. The quality of Suprayon, the experience, but the amount of space he had, and 1v1 versus Suprayon, and having burnt him so convincingly, I thought the onus was on Jed Drew to go straight at the City defender, not allow him to be shepherded wide and just delay the attack. It enables Melbourne City players to get more behind the ball and the space is blocked. He gets the ball, 15 metres of space. The only guy between him and the goal is Suprayon. Go straight at him.
Wong able to turn. Gets past Delhi. Lawrence Wong still into the area, just crowded out. Transdelhi recovers well with the help of Luke Bratton. Now Stephen Ugarkovic. Got 3 goals early in this season. Stephen Ugarkovic. 2 in the 5-0 win over Perth, another in the 4-1 win over Brisbane. Through again. Being chased around the field by Aziz Bayic. Scott. Preferred to Vujitsa at left back. A little bit in and out of the side the last couple of weeks, Ivan Vujitsa. Normally an ever-present over the last couple of seasons at the Bulls. Referee says foul by Yakalish.
One of these endless quirks in football. The player, in this case, Yakalish, thinks he should be allowed to get away with that. The incredulity with which he looks at the referee for blowing his whistle.
And he's still having words, I think, to Alex King. The 2 of them have been having a little conversation on and off. Now Rahmani into the area. Rahmani still on. That's nicely done on the left foot. Saved by Curto. And then cleared by Holman, only as far as Bayic. First effort of the match for the away side. And it was the work of the youngster, Kavian Rahmani. And he just turned 18 in December. Kavian Rahmani made his debut as a 17-year-old a few weeks before that. Here's Suprayon with Wong again. First time ball inside for Ugarkovic. Atkinson. Mazzeo for Talbot. It's nicely worked again by City. The cross in. Rahmani just couldn't get there quickly enough. Adamson clears. City still have it. Talbot back in. It's a good ball. Suleimani and Rahmani both in the area.
That's beautiful football from Melbourne City. Here's the beautiful feet of the youngster, Rahmani. And maybe rush of blood to the head, having done all the good work. He lost his composure at the key moment. But the lead-up was really superb. And then the subsequent attack from Melbourne City was just a wonderful football move. I think Vidmar will be really buoyed by that.
Ferreira with Ugarkovic. Again, it's given away cheaply that time by Ferreira. Holman trying to help it on towards Jed Drew. Again, it was a blind pass, though. Bayic has turned into trouble. Germain can't control. There's definitely the opportunities for goals in this one at the moment. Again, it's given away. Ugarkovic winning the throw. Gets it back from Ferreira. He's busying himself in the middle of the park. Stephen Ugarkovic. Aziz Bayic as Macarthur settled back into their 4-4-2. Allow City to come towards the halfway line. Beach joins the back of the defence. Create the extra man. Nice play again from Lawrence Wong. Bayic finds Atkinson. They've opened them up again here. It's another promising attack. Talbot shoots and it bounces just in front of Philip Curto, who sends it behind for a corner.
Not overly convincing from Callum Talbot, but awkward for Curto. That's about the range for Callum Talbot. We've seen him score good goals from there, but normally it's with his left foot cutting in from the right to his left. This time He backs himself with that right, and it's a bobbling effort. Curto smothering safely. Very uncharacteristic error from him to concede the penalty. On Monday, Philip Curto.
Interesting little stat for you, Andy. Neither of these two sides have scored a penalty this season. Past the midway point of the campaign, Melbourne City haven't even earned a penalty yet. Macarthur have missed 2.
Missed or saved?
Missed. Well, first one saved, both saved, and then the second one was actually put in, the rebound from Valère Germain. But Germain has missed the 2 penalties they've had so far this season. Saved. Not scored.
Not converted.
Atkinson now. Mazzeo. The cross. Blocked by Germain. Another corner to follow.
Well, each team, 35 minutes in, each team can lay claim to periods of good football, good dominance. There was an opportunity for Nathaniel Atkinson to shoot there just outside the box. Continue the momentum of the attack, the corner resulting.
Again, it's going to be Lawrence Wong to take. It's a good ball in as well. It was Mazzeo leaping.
Ugarkovic missing and Curto flapping. Big escape for Macarthur there.
Now Bajic, the cross in towards Suleimani. Yakovlev, that's a good header for Holman. He's got 2 to his left. Looks for Germain. Now he needs support. He holds onto the ball, but the transition is halted. Is there a foul there? No, says the referee. From Germain Ferreira on Holman, who stayed down. And Holman has stayed down. Even Ferreira now is saying to put the ball out, he needs some assistance. Bratton wants to come across and have a word as well.
Well,
and there are the studs on the back of the calf.
and it's from behind. Not particularly malicious, but a tackle from behind is a free kick. I mean, what's happening here, Rob?
Well, we saw 2 free kicks given against Uzkok and Germain. Germain, who went to ground both times. That time, perhaps Ferreira stayed on his feet. Is the difference?
Luke Bratton rightly is asking the question, and maybe referee King's angle of seeing it wasn't as good as Tony Popovic's angle. He's just taking Johnny Tatsimas, their old sparring partner from the Wanderers, just going through the angle of that tackle. Papa saying, when I was a Socceroo centre-half, I'd never make a tackle like that.
They'd be calling
I would have got in
stretcher
front,
already.
flicked the ball over the head. Actually, he tried that on Alvaro Recoba at the Olympic Stadium famously and got dragged after the yellow card that came. Wong, probably too young to even imagine that. There's Ugarkovic. He couldn't imagine he'd had such a great opportunity to score. And Philip Curto, forgettable. Look at the relief on the Macarthur goalkeeper.
Well, here's what's coming up for Macarthur. It's Auckland away, then Western United at home, Western Sydney away, and then the bye in round 20 before Sydney, and then another meeting with Melbourne City. Jake Holman is back on his feet. Now we have to leave the field of play because there was not even a free kick given in that instance. There's no movement on the Macarthur bench, so he should be right to continue. Just giving that right calf a little workout there as Alex King rolls the ball back to Melbourne City. Immediately straight back into the action. Jake Holman. It's Germain who gives chase, trying to cut out the option right. They go back to Beach, and that's a poor clearance. Yarklish straight back in. Jed Drew was in there lurking.
Was that a miss-hit first-time ball to Germain or an under-hit first-time ball to Jed Drew? And he saw something. There were two good options there. Unfortunately, Yarklish just couldn't find either.
It's been a very different first-half performance from Macarthur to, it's fair to say, what we're used to from them, where they really burst out of the blocks. Jake Holman looks like he's been incensed by that challenge and is on a mission now. He releases Jed Drew. Adamson. Holman's in acres of space in the middle of the park, but the ball is under hit with the outside of the right boot. And Atkinson trying to dribble his way through towards the halfway line. Back again to Beach. 3 shots each. 2 on target for the away side so far. You can see the stats there. It's rather paltry, certainly for the home side in this opening 42 minutes. And City, who were a side that lacked a little bit of aggression. Perhaps it was the moment many had been waiting for with this young side on the road to Auckland. Just have that little game where they didn't quite show up. Mazzeo, ooh, he's hit that with real power, Ben Mazzeo. Good stop in the end from Philip Curto. He's come back from a serious ankle injury. Ben Mazzeo missed the best part of a year, 10 months on his way back, but has made quite the impact since returning. Got a couple of goals to his name in the last month as well.
And Mazzeo again into trouble the scorers. That's more like it from Philip Curto. He has been outstanding as a goalkeeper. As soon as he arrived into the A-League, which is why, look at the penalty concession on Monday night. I have to shake my head and think, where did that come from? It was a rare error from an outstanding goalkeeper. Error of judgment. Telling the judge there to have voted Garkovic. No debate.
A-League Goalkeeper of the Year in his first season at Wellington Phoenix, when he just arrived from Dutch football, where he played for Roda JC, Dordrecht, Excelsior, the likes. There he is, Philip Curto. Hasn't had quite the same impact this season, perhaps, in goal for Macarthur, but it's only in comparison to his previous seasons.
I wonder if Carl Beard's watching this. Lawrence Wong has been told to take the ball back, I think 5 metres. All of a sudden it counts.
Well, it was about 1.5 meters. Must have been listening to your commentary, Andy. Beach goes long, very long this time. Was criticised for occasionally overplaying and playing out from the back early on this season. Here's Adamson. Holman being manhandled by Suprayon. Looking to impose himself on that physical battle. Bratton. It's a good ball for Yarklish. Somehow allowed to get on the end of that one. Jed Drew's cross, blocked by Bajic, and Bajic is asking the question of his defenders.
Well, the first touch from Yarklish was Macarthur. Look how he brings this down. That is simply delightful. and then the pass has too much of an angle. And he berates himself after. It didn't come up on the replay, but having made the space, that was a beautiful piece of control. But again, Jed Drew had to adjust his run on that occasion because the pass had the wrong angle on it. It's not all done for Macarthur, but more could have come a little bit earlier.
Jed Drew again. The cross, ball bouncing around, cleared by Ferreira. Scott with Delhi. Franz Delhi looks up, curls it towards Uscock. Callum Talbot with a big up and under, one for Arion Suleimani to chase. Ooh, that was spectacular. Free kick goes Walter Scott's way. As he went flying through the air, Scott. He's back up on his feet. It's Arion Suleimani who's stayed down.
And it's Suleimani who's adjudged to a foul, going to Scott, who leapt high in the first place. Wasn't anticipating the spin.
Mile Stojovski is asking what all the complaints are from. Here is Melbourne City's upcoming fixture list. Their round 17 game was actually brought forward a few weeks, so they actually have no game next weekend either. They're away to Adelaide in 2 weeks' time, then at home to Perth. Melbourne victory in round 20 at Amy Park, and then the Phoenix, and of course, as we just saw with the Bulls, they play each other again in 5 weeks' time. Well, in case you're wondering why the foul goes against Suleimani, he has a look to see where the player is coming, doesn't contest the header, and of course Walter Scott got his head on it, so he won the header before being sent flying through the air. Could have been worse for Walter Scott if he'd landed on his neck, which he was certainly completely out of control as he flew through the air. Yeoman's header was a good one towards Beach. Flags up for offside. It stays down as it's taken quickly. Miscontrol from Wong. Bratton wants a corner and doesn't get it.
Well, that's a decent effort from Luke Bratton. He reckons it would have been better if the Melbourne City player wasn't in the way. But a good bit of refereeing. Flag up for offside. But the ref sees the quick break and allows play on. Wong can't control, and Bratton senses the opportunity, and it was well worth a go.
Well, the 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half as Alex King has a look at the watch. Oh, the clearance is not the best from... the goal kick, rather, from Patrick Beach was not the best, but City have got away with it. Suleimani with Ferreira. Suprayon with Bajic. Rahmani. It's one for Beach to chase. He's dealt with that pretty well. Oh, as Bajic is forced to stretch. And Bajic is not happy with Patrick Beach either. They almost gave it away in another dangerous area.
Well, at any point in that last sequence, it looked like the elastic was going to break, didn't it? But they managed to hang on. Melbourne City.
Referee Alex King has added on another minute. Another look at the watch, and I think that might be that. The whistle goes for a scoreless first half in Campbelltown. Macarthur had their chances after a bright start from Melbourne City, but were unable to force a save out of the travelling goalkeeper Patrick Beach. On the other hand, Philip Curto, the busier of the two keepers, produced a good stop to deny Ben Mazzeo in the latter stages of the first half, but both sides will need to do more to break the deadlock here after the break. Scoreless in Campbelltown. Macarthur FC 0, Melbourne City 0. And we're going to head off to a quick break before we'll be back with the halftime show. Stay with us.
thanks. I was trying to listen to see when they were wrapping up.
Taz, you mentioned the word frustrating there, and I think from a Macarthur Bulls perspective, certainly from their coach's perspective on the bench, there were real signs of that frustration. The Harps, players out in the middle like Jake Holman, industrious, but still really looking for that spark.
I think part of the frustration for the Macarthur bench was that tackle from behind on Jake Holman. I think that really lit the fuse, but I'm looking at how Macarthur can break the game open, and when Jake takes a couple of knocks, it's a bit like a red rag to a bull if you'll enable me to mix
you've
the
done
metaphor
well there.
without the bell too. And maybe he's the guy who can fill that space. He's playing a bit further up as an attacking midfielder. And what they're missing, if anything, apart from a finishing touch, is that link play for someone. And it could be Jake Holman. He has great athletic capacity. He's got very good tight control as well. And as we saw in the early highlights, breaking in space, he can deliver a pass. The problem for Macarthur is there hasn't been anything on the back of it. Now, this boisterous run we've just seen there was his first play after being cut in half on halfway from behind from Pereira. That's what I mean about the red mist descending in a good way on someone like Jake Holman. And if he can harness that and then play into his other strengths with his technique and speed across the ground, then Macarthur can find a way out.
And City clearly know Tars just what a threat he is. They have been all over him in that first 45.
Nice and accurate. Oh, it's a little far, it's a little far. All right, next.
This year's Alex Tobin Medal is brought to you by Isuzu UTE. The winner of the prestigious award will win their choice of a brand new top-of-the-range Isuzu D-Max or 7-seat MUX. Plus, the Isuzu UTE Alex Tobin medalist will nominate a junior football club to win $10,000. Make sure you're watching this season's grand final when the winning player and club will be revealed.
Docker to finish it for the Mariners. Around the keeper. Game over. Docker's first A-League goal of the season. Aquilina's delivery. Dangerous. Taylor. Welcome back to Campbelltown Stadium, where, as you can see, Harry Politidis has come on at the break, replacing Ben Mazzeo. The only change to both sides at half-time. Kai Truan already making way for Germain Ferreira after just 3 minutes. So a second change for Melbourne City, who at the moment are holding Macarthur at home to a scoreless draw. These two sides are generally scorers in the opening half hour of matches. They have lacked a little bit of a cutting edge so far, as Jake Holman has come through the back of Ugarkovic, and it's going to be a first yellow. Andy Harper just 30 seconds in.
Well, I did suggest that Jake Holman find the angrier part of his personality and channel it for the good of his team. But he's found it, and he's channeled it towards Stephen Ugarkovic. And in defence of Jake, if one could mount such a thing at this point, after that tackle, probably said, well, it was okay when I got cleaned up on halfway. If that's the standard, have a bit of this.
And he has returned with that right knee rather heavily strapped as well.
Yeah, when there was 2 knocks, you remember there was the friendly fire from Germain. I think that was on his right leg as well.
Talbot looks long for Rahmani, who's moved onto this right flank. He's got the better of Walter Scott. The early cross. Oh, and somehow missed by Adamson and missed by Politidis as well. Here's Lawrence Wong, still alive with Politidis. Bajic, closed down by Delhi. Lawrence Wong again, back. Politidis for Ugarkovic, and Melbourne City bring the ball back out, try and tease out the Bulls. That booking for Jake Holman, the first of the match, as we have a look at the two teams at the bottom of your screen there. Jake Holman playing as a sort of number 10 in behind Valère Germain a lot of the time, defensively trying to press. Nicely done by Ferreira, but then not so nicely done. Delhi, 3-on-3 here. Oh, Delhi had options to either side. Tried to shoot and it was blocked. First scare at the start of this second half for the away side. Jakalic, nice touch for Holman. All the way back with Matt Germain for Philip Curto. And he looks up. 3 Macarthur players all coming back from offside positions when Curto was looking up towards the halfway line. Here's Bratton now, space on the left for Yarkalish. Bratton spraying the ball forward. Yarkalish one-on-one with Talbot. Into the area, looks up and crosses, can't find Germain, and the bounce does for Holman. Suprayon going looking for the ball, has not only failed to win the throw, but even given away the free kick.
Well, disappointing again, the outcome of that beautiful pass. There's the free kick. Suprayon on Delhi, but Luke Bratton, who does love his golf, and if he hit a draw shot on the course the way he hit that pass to Yarkalish, he'd be cock-a-hoop. Here he finds Yarkalish now.
Taken quickly, Yarkalish looks up, crosses, Germain's there, off the crossbar. I think Patrick Beach got a touch. But really, Valère Germain should have done better there. Macarthur should be in front.
Well, Yarkalish has been in good positions and come up empty so far this evening, but he drops it right on the spot here, and I reckon Patrick Beach has palmed that on. Well, he must have, because it's a corner.
And the header from Germain can't control. Amazing
chance for Valère Germain. Beautiful ball from Yarkalish. Been waiting for Yarkalish for some time. He's been a little disappointing until now. And Germain has done a lot right there. He's headed the ball back in the direction from where the goalkeeper has moved. He's headed the ball down into the ground, just didn't quite get the angle. And then on top of that, it is credit where it's due, a great reaction from Beach in the City goal.
Now one for Rahmani to chase, looking to head it into the path of Suleimani. Atkinson, the flag's up for offside against Rahmani at the start of that move. Valère Germain needs just one more goal to become Macarthur's all-time leading goal scorer, a title he currently shares with Ulysses Davila. 26 goals in all competitions for the two men. And Germain very close to goal number 27 in 54 games, it would be exactly, if he can get it. A goal every 180 minutes. Holman, it opens up for Holman. And he shot tamely towards Beach. Melbourne City have to be careful here. 5 minutes into the second half. That's 2 big chances they've given away. They play their way out again this time. Beach wide up to Talbot. Talbot looks long but only finds the head of Franz Deli. Germain manages to squeeze it around the corner towards Deli. Uscock with Germain. Scott Long. Holman. Referee says free kick against Ferreira.
Well, he's involved in most things that Macarthur are coming up with. Holman carrying a yellow card, carrying a bung knee. Not quite carrying Macarthur at the moment, but he's certainly doing his bit.
Well, there are the second half only stats, and we're just about 7 minutes in. 4 shots already. 2 of which on target, 2 saves from Patrick Beach. Yarkalish and Holman. Yarkalish delivers. Good header away from Aziz Beach. Oh, Suleimani a little too easily dispossessed. Now Adamson back onto the right. Here's Deli. Jet Drew now. His cross back in. Adamson bringing it down. It might fall for Germain. Can't control. Almost a comedy of errors as they almost gave it away again there.
Well, at the very least, Melbourne City are looking very ragged. A slight little shove in the back by Aziz Beach, but no repercussions.
Walter Scott gives it away this time as Talbot Looks up. It's a great ball for Politines. Oh! That would have been spectacular if Harry Politines, against the run of play, had steered that into the top corner.
Well, as that ball's flying over from Talbot to Politines, you're thinking McGowan to Kale at the World Cup. Or closer to home, you're thinking Craig Noon here for Macarthur, who scored a belter from about that range. And Politines would have joined that discussion.
Lovely control and technique to steer that goalwards. It's Germain Ferreira who's gone down now under the challenge from Holman. Well, both players going for the ball, as invariably. Well, the studs are raised from Holman. Got to be careful.
He does need to be careful. But that's a free kick. Never anything more. Nevertheless, he is on that yellow card.
Beach for Talbot again. Jakalic is always favourite. It's not an easy one to bring down. Off the chest now. Curto looks long. Talbot there again. Bratton, clever touch for Jakalic. Leaves it for Holman, but without really indicating that that's what he was doing. Bratton has it straight back for Macarthur. Curto now. Suleimani looking to put the pressure on. Adamson with Jedru. City can come again. Adamson's won it back. Again, so much pressure on the ball carrier in certain situations where players almost got themselves in cul-de-sacs where there's nowhere to go. Scott back for Germain again. Drew's managed to keep that in play, but not much else for Macarthur. Yeah, perhaps is a good example of why teams do try to play out from the back, because when you're forced into those long 50-50 balls, you can more often than not just give the ball straight back to the opposition, which is what's happened here. Suleimani's turn to give it away. Jakalic, early pass for Drew. They've got numbers forward here, Macarthur. Jed Drew just loses that forward momentum. Germain again, Holman. Bratton ran into trouble. Lawrence Wong. Ugarkovic, that's a good calming pass for Talbot, and then it's his turn to give it away.
Well, Lawrence Wong didn't see the run of Politines on halfway. Just wasn't quite sharp enough to take the look. He's certainly got the technique to hit the pass, but you can't hit a pass if you can't see it.
Looks like Mile Stojovski has just sent word down to the bench. There's a bit of movement in the Melbourne City ranks as well. Hosseini looks as though he's preparing to come in. Perhaps Matthew Leckie as well into the contest. Rahmani across the face of goal. Politines will keep it in. Little touch for Wong. Lawrence Wong, the cut back for Bajic. Well defended by Holman. Matt Leckie played 15 minutes in the loss against Auckland. There's Germain looking to put Beach under pressure. Yakulish arriving as well. Atkinson's done that well with Talbot. Rahmani, nice turn. Delhi's turn to go diving in. It might be a booking, and it will be.
A slick feet again from Rahmani. Delhi committed, picking up the yellow card, but the attack was stopped. Really compromised for Macarthur at that point.
Now Bench starting at goal for the Socceroo left back. Just a glimpse of goal, perhaps. Two goals in 115 A-League matches before tonight. There's Bernardo. Gassaini has been... he's still just warming up a little bit. Matt Leckie is stripped down, ready to come into the game. Lugarkovic trying to turn away from trouble. Perhaps Germain now. Releases Jed Drew. It's a good ball. Drew with a little bit of space. Holman wants the cut back. Drew finds him. Oh, and it was there for the hitting. It was almost an identical passage of play to the goal on Monday night against Wellington. But Holman couldn't find the finish this time.
Well, he lost the mind games here, I think, Jake Holman. It's a little bit further out from the goal on Monday night, and maybe at that point he thought, I need to hit a bit more power, and it just unravelled from there. That's the space we talked about at half-time, him occupying that space in support, but he just couldn't hit the jackpot.
Yakulish short with Delhi. His ball in. The header off Germain. Comfortable for Patrick Beach.
Well, all the chances this half, 5 or 6 of them have been for Macarthur.
Lawrence Wong on the charge. Gets the ball out to Politidis. Left back by trade, Harry Politidis, who's been enjoying his spell on the left wing so far this season. After the return of Aziz Beich from Al Nassr. Yakulish, that's a good ball. And it's well defended by Beich. At least at the first time of asking, and then Ugarkovic at the second time. Coolly done, Politidis. Holman's won it back. Oh, and Atkinson just wins it straight back again. Here he is, Nathaniel Atkinson. Lawrence Wong, telegraph. Now, 2-on-2. Germain inviting Jed Drew to run straight. It's Suprayon. Drew still Jed Drew for Germain. And he does have his 27th Macarthur goal. An hour played, and the home side get their reward for an enterprising start to the second half. They've been the better side since the break, and the Frenchman, the veteran, has given them the lead.
Well, Harvey Norman replay shows great work from Luke Bratton. And you look at the body language of Supra, having to chase Jed Drew, goes, oh no, not again. And he can't really round him up. Suffice to say, he turns him away from goal, but all that does is delay the attack, give Germain the opportunity to get forward and support Jed Drew, who finds the Frenchman with a really astute little pass. The quality to finish chances that's been missing, clearly in evidence for the game breaker here. Well done to Macarthur. It's a really good goal, and it's their talisman who hits it through the legs of Patrick, who's beached as.
Their all-time leading goal scorer with 27 goals, one more than Ulysses Davila, their captain, this season. Valère Germain with his 7th goal of the campaign. Is it going to be that first win at home since the opening day of the season? Gosseini has also come on along with Matt Leckie, and it's Suleimani and Wong, the 2 players who have made way. All right, well, let's head down quickly to Neve Owens on the sideline. Neve, what have you got for us?
Football always a matter of moments, isn't it? And we've just heard over the loudspeaker here a substitution that was about to be made but was delayed, and oh so fortuitously from a Macarthur perspective. Jed Drew was about to be substituted. Bernardo was on the sideline. He was about to enter the fray. That decision was delayed ever so slightly, and Jed Drew, of course, in that massive moment, and now continues to do his thing.
Here he is again, the man that should be off the field in theory, looking for the cutback again. Holman gets there, Delhi sliding in. Now Jake Holman, can he find another option? Jed Drew. Holman's in an offside position saying, wrong way, go back. Bratton putting the big one high up in there. Beach misses it. Yarkalish back in, look at the space here for Delhi. He just couldn't fire the shot off quickly enough. City in a little bit of trouble here. So yes, I thought I was hearing the announcement that Bernardo was on the field, and I had a quick look. Jed Drew's still out there, unfortunately enough perhaps for Macarthur, as Neve said, involved in the goal and almost involved in a second there. Meanwhile, Bernardo has the bib back on and waits his turn in the dugout. Yarkalish putting the pressure on Ferreira. Well, it hasn't been much of a season so far for Matt Leckie, just his 4th appearance of the campaign now after those injuries. Here he is on the ball. Can he make a difference for City? Politidis, the cross behind Gosseini. Rahmani with Talbot. Atkinson can't get the cross past Tommy Uscock. Suprayon back to Ferreira. He's done that pretty well, spinning away from trouble, finding Suprayon. Politidis gets it back from Gosseini. Atkinson. This is better from City. Rahmani! Oh, he turned inside onto his left foot perfectly. It was a good shooting opportunity, but he couldn't hit the target.
Well, twice now in this game, Rahmani has been in space and then found space. Shifted the ball nicely then, but on both occasions, the shot has left a lot to be desired.
The change is coming now, and I think Jed Drew was looking up across to just see if it was to be him. He's come off and hasn't always looked too pleased with it in recent weeks. Bernardo comes in, so Jake Holman, I think, will drop down alongside Luke Bratton in midfield. Bernardo will move into Holman's role of supporting Valère Germain. Talbot.
I'm not quite sure what's going on with Valère Germain. As that substitution was made, he was gesticulating towards his own technical area.
As that ball almost breaks, it'll be for Curto.
Oh, Yarkalish went to the Frenchman, offered something. I'm not sure if it was the personnel he disagreed with in that change, or he was expecting maybe an early shower himself. Or maybe neither of the above, but he was certainly in some form of communication during that phase.
Bajic with Politidis. Good run from Leckie, good pace. The cutback. Ooh! Tommy Uscock's already got an own goal to his name this season.
Well, the temperature rises on a football field when Matthew Leckie's involved. Look at that acceleration. Macarthur on notice. A potential game changer to add to their difficulties in Socceroo Matt Leckie. It's great to see him back. The sooner he's back playing 4 games of football, the better for all concerned, apart from immediate opponents, of course.
Delivery into the back post. Leckie was there. So was Ferreira. Free kick given. Well, another player who we might see back, not only Marco Tilio is on the bench, and word out of the Melbourne City camp is that he's been flying in training during the week. But we've also got the youngster Max Caputo, who is not here this evening, but is preparing himself to play a friendly match with the MPL squad this weekend. His first football since breaking his leg just before the start of the season. And with Medin Mehmeti heading off to the Asian Cup for the under-20s with the young Socceroos, along with a quartet of Macarthur players. Adelaide also very well represented in the young Socceroos squad, which was announced yesterday. Kyrgyz Republic, Qatar and China, the 3 group opponents for the young Socceroos on the 12th, 15th and 18th of February in China. Nicely done, Hosseini, and that'll be the 3rd yellow card of this match, all 3 of them for Macarthur. Walter Scott this time.
Well, Walter Scott made that attack with a beautiful trick he put on Atkinson. And then he was waiting for something a little too obvious. I thought he could have delivered that ball into the penalty area and put Melbourne City under even more pressure, but he hesitated. Macarthur weren't good enough to go on with the attack. He does what he does and now sits on that yellow card.
Ferreira, great switch of play, a little bit of space for Politidis. He looks up, crosses just beyond Leckie. Talbot runs it down, cross straight back in, met by Germain. Hosseini, Leckie on the turn. It was difficult. Well, let's have a look at the live ladder as it stands. Macarthur moving above Melbourne City into 3rd place on goal difference. Now, they have played an extra match than City, and they're just 3 points behind Auckland. Adelaide still leading the way, but a goal for Melbourne City will turn all that back around on its head. We know Macarthur are at their most dangerous when they're a transition side. They have not dominated the ball here this evening, but certainly, particularly in the second half, they have created chances. Hosseini, it's behind Rahmani. Yakulish with Bratton. Good ball, Germain can't keep it in. Well, they went on that great run of 7 matches without defeat, Melbourne City, including the 3 wins with 3 consecutive clean sheets against the Phoenix, Western United and then Brisbane, before that loss to Auckland last weekend. Leckie can't do anything with that header. They are, at the moment, facing back-to-back defeats for the first time this season. Vujica and De Silva about to come on. Scott makes way for Vujica. That's a straight swap at left back, and Jed Drew this time makes way for a more familiar player in the middle of the park in Danny De Silva, so I assume that will mean Bernardo will move out into that wider, more attacking wing position. De Silva, who has a couple of goals to his name this season. Jed Drew, once again, heavily involved. A 7th assist of the campaign for him. He continues to be an integral part of this Macarthur side. Jed Drew, one capable of making the difference. Leckie just left Luke Bratton in the centre circle. Here he goes again, Leckie. Politidis somehow manages to keep it in play. Throw goes City's way. Bratton is still bent over on the edge of the area, trying to just recover from that hit. Bernardo. Oh, lovely feet from Bernardo. Germain with Jakalic to his left. He finds him now. De Silva arriving in the middle. Vujicic, the fresh legs, the cutback. Germain's there. It might yet fall for Macarthur. Bernardo looking for a 5th career goal against Melbourne City.
Well, it would have been fitting for the sake of the move if Bernardo could have finished this, because he started it with that beautiful, athletic, balletic run through midfield. But the finish at the end, not as exciting as the origin of that move.
Here's Leckie. Showed too much of that to Tommy Uscott. Holman is surrounded by blue shirts, and he's done that pretty well in the end. Well, Bernardo enjoys playing against Melbourne City. Last season was quite remarkable. He scored his only 2 goals of the season for Adelaide, both against Melbourne City, then transferred to Macarthur and got his only 2 goals of the season for Macarthur in the same game against Melbourne City as well. 4 goals in 2 matches for 2 different opponents against Melbourne City. Vujicic's challenge is a good one on Rahmani. Germain was looking for De Silva, and now final change coming for Melbourne City, and it is Rahmani who makes way. He's worked hard for 75 minutes. Kavian Rahmani, and Marco Tilio makes his return to A-League football. Scored the first goal of the season for Melbourne City just 2 minutes into their opening game against Newcastle. Played just 2 more matches before the hamstring went in a 1-0 victory against Western United, in which Andrew Nabu also did his anterior cruciate ligament. That's a great ball. Bernardo. De Silva arriving. Bernardo still going. Bratton there again with Adamson. Bajic is down. No stoppage. Bajic screaming at referee Alex King. Germain for Vujicic. Macarthur looking for that second goal that you just get the feeling they know they need.
Well, I've seen enough of Matthew Leckie, you'd reckon, to believe what you're saying. Well, 1 is enough at full time, obviously, to secure the 3 points, but it's not a big enough gap for them to rest easy. Tilio on as well now for City means more trouble.
It's Tilio's cross, met by Uscott. Free kick, says the ref.
And as players tire, game opens up, more opportunities for youngsters off the bench. Bernardo the latest in the line. Good work from Patrick Beach in goal. It's not an easy one to see away. Beautiful pass from Luke Bratton to find Bernardo on that occasion.
Well, late drama has been the order of the day in the A-League certainly in the summer of football. So many late twists and turns in the tails of matches, and this one has all the trappings. De Silva being hunted by Suprayon up the pitch with Politides. Vujica, lovely control. Jakulic back to him. Bratton. Oh, that's dangerous. And far too casual from Jakulic. Lecky with Tilio. The cross deflected. Curto adjusted well and was helped out by Holman, only as far as Atkinson. Talbot, City looking for that equaliser. Adamson away. Well, Bratton was looking for it, and Ferreira got sucked in.
Well, the deflection nearly brought City back square, but the angle manageable for Curto. Yeah, it's a clear foul by Ferreira.
Curto long. It'll be a throw for the home side. Well, Patrick Beach made 8 saves last weekend against Auckland. He's made 5 already this evening. There'll be no 7th clean sheet, but City have had more of the ball in the last 15 minutes since Macarthur took the lead. Urgency from the coach, Aurelio Vidmar, looking for the ball. Atkinson. That home win at Campbelltown that has eluded the Bulls since October. 3 losses and 2 draws here after that dream start to the season. Their biggest ever win, 6-1 over Perth, as Tilio's ball. Again, it's deflected, and again, it's Lecky lurking, waiting. Great for Tony Popovic to see Matt Lecky and Marco Tilio back out on the pitch as well. It may be, we'll see, a little bit too late for the next window, although he is here watching. Jakulic's ball, looking for Bernardo. Indonesia and China next up for the Socceroos, and the opportunity to take a huge step towards World Cup qualification.
Well, those games in March, Matt Lecky might have, how many games? Half a dozen between now and then. I mean, he's just changed the whole gearbox in Melbourne City since he's come on. Tilio has been on less, and you can imagine him when he starts to find his feet. Lecky's had a couple of runs off the bench, but it just takes everything up notches.
But you're saying that's enough time for Lecky to force his way into the fight? Yes, I agree. A player of that experience as well.
Even what he's showing now, of course, the more football unscathed, the better. But he's showing how he can change players like him, of that quality, that pedigree.
Here he is again. A little touch for Bajic. Has just gone out of play. Lecky wants to continue the discussion. The throw is going to have to go Macarthur's way. Leckie is saying perhaps he should have had a free kick. He was being manhandled over the touchline. While the likes of Leckie, Naboo and Tilio, as well as Cohen and Kuhn, have been sidelined. The kids have been doing the business, but you can see how they do need them back. Hosseini. Confident. Ball wide. Fatilio. Hosseini goes again. There's a tricky little customer on the edge of the area. Ugarkovic forces Talbot wide, but he gets there. Tilio. He looks up. Marco Tilio's cross. It's a good ball. Curto comes and punches. Back in from Hosseini. Well, that was acrobatic. Maybe Curto collected a bit of his teammate, Keely Adamson, there.
He did.
He certainly did.
And for the stoppage where Keely Adamson gets himself checked out. A word to the injured, hopefully not seriously, Macarthur defender. A lot of players have a lot of things said about them. You know, as a team, mostly good, thankfully. To my estimation, Keely Adamson has largely gone unnoticed, uncommented on, just does his job. And I couldn't be more impressed. The football opportunity he's been given here as he makes sure that everything's okay has been appreciated evidently by the youngster out of the Sydney FC Academy. I think he's been terrific. And he showed admirable bravery in putting his head between Philip Curto's fist and I think it was Matthew Leckie. Doesn't matter who it was. He put himself there for his team. It's Politidis. And he's been outstanding again tonight. And I think he's doing terrifically well.
And he does have just 21 years of age for another month or so. 2 Australia Cups to his name as well. One with Sydney FC, and then not held by that club. Straight across to Macarthur. There's the Paramount Plus player index. Patrick Beach and Philip Curto lead the way. Perhaps Curto with the clean sheet should just be a shade above Beach, but Germain is there with his goal. Holman and Bratton as well. It's been a game so far so good for Macarthur. It hasn't been flamboyant. It hasn't even necessarily been overly solid and controlled, but they have their noses in front. And they probably have just about shaded this one. Certainly on the second half performance, at least.
Yeah, and certainly on the number of chances and the quality of chances. They've had some good opportunities in the second half.
They come again here with De Silva, closed down by Atkinson. Throw goes Macarthur's way. You think of that Germain save that Beach made onto the crossbar, the save from Bernardo as well. Nice quick feet, quick passing, little triangles from Macarthur. Holman just overhit that one. That was caught in two minds.
Yeah, it looked like it, didn't it? And every misstep like that, I mean, this is dangerous territory for Macarthur. Because I think back to an earlier game, 4-4 this ground against Brisbane, and they're not doing the same as they did against Brisbane. I think they very evidently put the cue in the rack and thought, we'll try and see this one out, and Brisbane nabbed them.
Talbot looking to reproduce a similar scenario.
Similar outcome. And Macarthur are perhaps straightened by that experience against Brisbane. So they're not just looking to run the clock out here, but they've got a lot of work to do still in the time remaining. A couple of minutes plus stoppages to make sure they can get 3 points at home. So valuable.
There was a pair of own goals that night as well. Last Lanagic and Uzkop. that helped Brisbane nab that 4-4 draw.
And you think that game, you put it on the back of the Wellington game on Monday, and all of a sudden their home form's looking pretty reasonable.
Yeah, they were leading Adelaide here in the 80th minute. Germain's header a couple of weeks ago, only for the penalty from Clough and then Jovanovic. As I said, they've led so often. They led here even against Newcastle with that Eli Adams double as well back at the start of the season after Yakulish had fired them in front. So they won't be breathing any easier until that final whistle blows if they're still in front. They've made 3 substitutions so far. They still have another window up their sleeve. Will they be saving that one for stoppage time? Well, Bratton and Yakulish enjoying the understanding. 30 seconds left in regulation time. Tilio. Marco Tilio accelerates. Still going Tilio. Gets it to Politidis. Harry Politidis against Adamson. The cutback. Bratton, who'd continued to make his way back into the box. In the right place at the right time. Leckie in space. Leckie's cross. Germain away. And Ugarkovic with a good siding at goal. It's his kind of range as well, but not on this occasion. 6 minutes of stoppage time announced by the 4th official.
Never quite sat for Ugarkovic, who couldn't quite get himself balanced. 6 minutes is still plenty. It's a lifetime here at Campbelltown, actually. You've just gone through the season thus far and the late losses for Macarthur. They've got to hold tight against one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name in the A-League, in Matthew Leckie.
De Silva, no way through. Leckie just bundles Adamson out of the way. Good challenge, Bratton. The final changes are preparing for Macarthur. Harrison Sawyer, who we haven't seen in 2025 for the Bulls, is preparing to come on. Talbot with Tilio, so is Chris Economides, who we have seen only once all season, but it was on Monday night, off the bench for a few minutes. And a great chance to score as well against Wellington Phoenix. He's preparing to come into the game as well, but not while they're defending this corner. Marco Tilio in the 2nd minute of 6 in added time. In it comes near post, Curto. Well, he knew he was in a bit of trouble there. He wasn't going to get there. He spread himself, and it's another corner. Gossaini comes short. Tilio again. Drives it in. It's a good ball in. Leckie was there. And Holman, I think, did just enough.
Well, Tilio on the Harvey Norman replay has hit some really dangerous balls into the box. It should be a corner for Melbourne City. And as Holman had glanced the ball clear.
Yakulish and Germain making way. Valère Germain, who this evening became Macarthur FC's all-time leading goal scorer in all competitions. with his 27th goal for the club, his 19th in the A-League.
And here's the moment that separates the teams. Beautiful reverse pass from Jed Drew. Unerring finish from Germain.
Harrison Sawyer, the glancing header. The crowd enjoying it as they look to wind down these final 3 minutes. Ferreira. Talbot, the big switch of play for Politidis. Bajic now against Economides, the cross in. Oh, as Curto had to be warned that Tilio was coming over his shoulder.
Well, they're under huge pressure, Macarthur. They're defending very well. There's Tommy Uscock, about to complete his 100th game for Macarthur, who's put his body in there and seen the ball away. Macarthur, different from other matches to this point in the season, are looking to try and close the field up upfield, and rather than sit back in a deep block and invite trouble. Melbourne City will work their way forward, but they're holding a good line. Macarthur, and they're daring City to do something.
Here's Beach. De Silva and Sawyer leading the press for Macarthur. City just can't get past it at the moment. Gossaini comes short, rides the challenge of Holman. It's another good ball from the youngster Gossaini. Tilio taking on Bernardo. Vujica makes the interception. Ferreira wants to take it quickly. Referee again making sure it's taken from the right place with Talbot. Talbot again, nice first touch, making space for the cross. It's a good ball. And Curto collected the post on his way through. You could hear the contact. Politidis couldn't steer it goalwards.
He lost his feet too, Curto. And a really desperate scramble.
15 seconds left. Talbot, is there time for Melbourne City in this battle of two sides fighting for third place on the league table, both looking to bounce back from defeats in their most recent outings? The 6 minutes of stoppage time are up. Ivan Vujica to take. He wants Sawyer to run the channel. Ferreira back with Beach. They go long. Referee allows play to continue again. Vujica does well. Talbot, the big up and under. A little look to the watch from Alex King. And it's all over. It is Macarthur who bounced back. The cowbells can finally ring with the peal of relief around Campbelltown Stadium. It's back-to-back defeats for the first time this season for Melbourne City. They threw everything they had at Macarthur in the final minutes, but it wasn't enough after Valère Germain had given the home side a precious lead just after the hour mark. It's Macarthur who have got the win. Mile Sturchovski's side make it back-to-back wins against Melbourne City as well, having failed to win any of their first 8 in this rivalry. But Valère Germain's historic goal, his 27th in black and white, gets the Bulls across the line, and the Bulls, they're up to third in the A-League standings, above Melbourne City on goal difference as it finishes here in Campbelltown. 1-0 to the hosts.
Congratulations to the lucky winners and their guests for being chosen for the VIP sideline experience. We hope you enjoyed the experience of watching your team up close and personal. Thursday, February 6th, in the Villiers, in the Macarthur Square, keeping an eye on all our socials for information.
Yeah, first it's a big honor for me to become the goal scorer, the goal, I don't know how we say, but the man who scored the most for the Bulls. And then, yeah, it was a difficult game. I think the first half was bad from us. We let them too much with the ball. We didn't press too high. And then finally, at the second half, we pressed a little bit more, and we had some good opportunities to score. And finally, we scored. And I think I don't know if we deserved the 3 points, but it's good to win at home. Yeah, sometimes it's good to win by this way, you know, work hard. Defensively, for sure, when we are striker, we want to touch a bit more the ball, but at the end of the day, the most important are the 3 points. And since the beginning of the season, we are not that good at home, so finally we can win 3 points in front of our fans, so it's good. We are third in the league. We have 2 games coming who are very important and will be very difficult. But I think we have quality in this team to fight against each team in this league, so we are full of confidence, and we still work in training to improve. Yeah, I try to speak with him every day to make him improve, because I think he has a lot of quality. He knows what he has to do on the pitch. He knows like he's very fast. He makes some very good runs. So I think for me, for Bratton as well, it's really easy to find him on the space. I think he's very important for us this season, and I hope he will continue like this until the end of the season, because he is a good guy and he deserves it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good night to you. Bye.
Start from Brillante, now Mata! And Juan Mata has his first goal in Australian football.
is promising for Auckland FC. Germain! Oh! What a strike from Mai!